Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Smitanshi Agarwal, a certified resume writer, your career coach and an HR professional from over half a decade. And today we will talk about something that is unfortunately becoming more part of the corporate world and something that can be happening to you even without you realizing it. Have you ever felt that your company has started you treating differently? Like they are making your work life so miserable that they want you to quit? So let me tell you one thing, you might not be imagining things. And today I will share the most common tactics that are used by the company in order to force the employee to resign. And most importantly, I will tell you how you can protect yourself. But before we dive in, if you like content like this, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Now, let me be very clear. I am not here to bash any company or companies, management, HRs. First, let's understand what is forced resignations mean. So it is sometimes also known as constructive dismissal. It is when a company make your working conditions so unbearable that you have no choice but to quit. Why would a company do that instead of just laying you off? So two things, very simple, money and liability. When the company lays you off, they have to pay severance and sometimes they even have to pay the unemployment benefits. And there is always a possibility of potential wrongful termination lawsuits. And one of the other factor which I realize is that they are concerned about the low morale among the remaining employees. Like there will be bad PR among rest of the employees. That can also be a good reason not to do that. But on the other side, when the employee quit, there is no severance that is required. They don't have to pay you the unemployment benefits, and it would be much harder for you to file a wrongful termination lawsuit. And they can tell the employee also, like, it's nothing from their side. It is you that who choose to leave. Clever, right? Not, I would say, ethical, but very clever move if we see from the business perspective. Now let's dive deep into it. So I'll be sharing you the most common tactics that are used by the companies which I have seen. And trust me, when you will hear them, you will recognize them and you will see them everywhere. So the first tactic is the impossible PIP, that is impossible performance improvement plans. So this is the most common tactics used by the companies, and I'm not saying all PIPs are like that, but sometimes they design the performance improvement plans in order for you to fail. So I have seen the impossible PIP plans like increasing the sale by 200% in just 30 days, and that too in the slowest season. Second was to learning the software and becoming the expert of it into just 30 days and without any help. And third, which I felt was very impossible to do, was doing the work of 3 people while maintaining the same quality. So here's the insider secret. So if your PIP plan is something that you feel the successful colleague of yours cannot hit, so it is definitely something that has been designed for you to fail. So I would suggest to look for these red flags, like if the goals are very impossible to achieve, and if the timeline is very vague, and even they change the goal or the timeline very easily and very frequently. Now moving on to the tactic number 2, the isolation treatment. So suddenly you will be no longer invited to the meetings that you used to attend. Your access to certain software things will be temporarily restricted, and your opinion will not be considered or mattered, which used to be before. So you won't believe, I once saw a manager telling their team that a particular employee is not available while the employee was sitting right there, wondering like why he's not being included. This just doesn't hurt his feelings, but they had another motive also. They were systematically removing the employee from the major activities so that they can show the employee was disengaged or was not completing that enough. Now, third is the workload manipulation. This usually comes in 2 flavors. One is overwhelming you and second is starving you out. So in the first part, they will giving you 3x of the work, and they will not provide you enough team or support system to achieve that goal, and they will expect you to maintain the same quality. And in the second part, in starving you out, they will not assign you a good project, reassign everything that was important to others, everything, and in their process, they're trying to show you incompetent. Fourth is the hostile environment creation. This one is particularly nasty. So they will make your entire workplace environment toxic for you. The manager will start nitpicking on everything you will do. This is something which I have personally experienced. My manager used to tout every small mistakes which they should. So I was even more concerned to draft the offer letters, policies, and everything very clearly and without any errors. So one day I took that offer letter to the manager to get it signed, and when she couldn't find any error in the offer letter, she looked at the pen and said it to me, use good pen. This is not a good pen. It is something that no matter what you will do, they will just say bad things about you. So on, it was going for a long time with me. So but this is the moment I realized, like, this is not something that is about me, it is about them. Another part of this is your colleagues will also become cold or hostile towards you, and I feel in most of the situations they are genuinely started believing like you are someone who is been underperforming, being problematic. Simple mistakes, simple errors will be highlighted. Your credits will be taken and given to other people. But working conditions so toxic that you will be come to a point just to quit the organization. Moving on to the tactic number 5, that is the skill obsolescence play. And this a entirely different skill will be required from your side. There will be no training or no support will be provided to you, and they will give you a tight timeline to become proficient into it. You won't believe, I have seen a 50-year-old accountant to have the same skill set of a data scientist and without any support being provided to him, and a 25-year market person to have all the knowledge of the AI tools without any training. This is just to maintain the document trial and showing you someone who is resistant to change or inability to adapt. These are the 5 tactics which the company usually use when they look for a forceful resignation from the employees. Sometimes I feel the process is a little bit slower, like they will make some minor changes which will not mean anything individually, but putting them together you will find this is the systematic way to dismantling you from your authority and power. Your parking spot will be given to somebody else, or your office location will be changed to a less desirable place, and your direct reporting managers or colleagues will be given to somebody else. So it will be like they are making these small changes to have to have you away from the system, and so that in some time you will yourself feel like you are not being productive and you should just leave the organization. Now let's just understand the psychology behind it, like why these tactics are so effective. Because these are not practical inconveniences at the work, but it's a psychological warfare. They will put you in the position like you will question everything, like are you imagining things, or these things are being told to you, like they will say something and they will say like I haven't said this. Many of these tactics will start you question your perception of reality. You will think like maybe you are the problem, you are someone that is incompetent and making this all sort of problems, and this is what they're counting on. They want you to self-doubt you. And when you face constant criticism, impossible standards, and no matter what you do you are doing it wrong, so eventually you just stop trying and you become passive, and you just start accepting maybe you should just leave the organization. And let me tell you one thing which they don't want you to know, that is this reaction is completely normal, And that doesn't mean you are weak or incompetent, it just means you are human. Now let's move to the most important part of this video, how you can protect yourself when you find all these tactics are being applied to you. So now you know the company is not looking something long term with you. Either they want you to resign or they will terminate you in some time. Now you need to see whole situation into bigger picture and have your options open. So first I would suggest you to document everything, be it an email, message, screenshots, your change in the deadlines, meeting notes, everything, and keep them onto your personal IT or personal computer. And second, I would say to read company policy and everything very clearly so that you have a clear idea what you are into. Third, I would say to have a strategic plan. See about your financial situation, how many months you can survive, about the health insurance or any benefits that are you getting from the company, or is the company is someone that gives the unemployment benefits or not, or everything. And start looking for a job. The best time to start looking for a job is when you have one. It will be less stressful. So upgrade your LinkedIn profile and connect with your previous colleagues, send requests to various recruiters on LinkedIn to get the job as early as possible. Now you have realized the situation. According to me, there can be three responses. So the first approach is the strategic approach. Just connect and have a one-on-one meeting with your manager. Tell them, how you have changed the changes and then show them the document. Have a proper serious conversation. This can be risky, I know, but I have seen sometimes stop the continuation of toxic behavior. Second is the HR route. Go to the HR and have this conversation like these are the patterns and the behaviors you are facing, and you are some sort of an anxiety due to this, and you are having these many concerns regarding this. So HR are someone who are trained to avoid any lawsuit, so they will try to navigate the situation as better as they can in order to have a good balance between the employee and the employee. Third thing that you can do is strategic exit. Now they don't want you to work for the company, so avoid the torture and end this thing on your terms. Negotiate them into the severance or sometimes get unemployment benefits added by the company, and look for references. Sometimes they even give a very positive feedbacks, referrals, in order for you to end with them on very good terms. Now let me share few real life scenarios so that you can navigate the situation better. So first I will share a story of a software developer who was great at her work and 5 years of experience. Now the company want to reduce the cost of the development, making dial of events. They put her on PIP, but she recognized the pattern, talked to the HR, have a very good severance, and even secured a very good offer from another company within just 25 days. Let's see the second example, that is of a marketing manager. He was someone of the 55 and he was withdrawing a very good salary. Now the company wanted to place with a younger talent, a very less salary as compared to him. The company approach was he shifted him into the entire digital marketing and made him to get the clients from the marketing, and he had no idea. He was provided with no support to have the training to build the presence and get the clients from the social media. In this process, they were documenting him resistance to change or inability to adapt. He couldn't find the pattern, and within few weeks he resigned with frustration, losing all his severance and unemployment benefits that he could have got. So with these two scenarios, you can see how can you make this situation to work into your favor. Now let's talk about something that is not discussed enough, the social impact of these tactics. So this is not just about your job. You lose your self-confidence and professional personality. You start behaving differently with your friends and family. When you are facing these forced resignation tactics, it impacts your self-confidence and your identity. When I resigned and I went home, I was doubting my entire identity. And suddenly one day I was sitting on the floor of my home and I saw all the trophies that first, second, third prize, and I realized I have always been a very brilliant student, and that even continued into the college. I have conducted the stage in front of the chief minister and been a part of so many declamation contests. So then I keep on start on building my self-confidence. Let me be very honest, when I joined the next company, the effect of my previous job was still there. It took me a month or two to adapt there, but those 1 or 2 months were, enough to tell me how brilliant I am in my job. This was a very short period for me, but I have seen people questioning their entire career, losing sleep, and developing anxiety, and even withdrawing from the relationships. And if you're going through it right now, I would like to tell you again and again, this is not about your worth or competence. These tactics are designed to make you feel that way. I can't stress this enough. This is not about your worth and competence. So take care of yourself. If you are not able to manage it on your own, look for some professional help. Your mental health is the most important thing. So let's talk about how the companies can avoid needing these tactics. The first will be very transparent communication. So if you are facing some challenge, you can tell your team in advance and have notice regarding it. What you can do is you can be very respectful and kind throughout the whole process. Trust me, I have seen the companies who are doing major layoffs, and when they are being transparent, they have even more employees loyalty. And I would just like to see, just like the world, the corporate world can also be very challenging and unfair sometimes, but knowledge is power, and now you have all the knowledge regarding it to make a very informed decision. Don't let anyone tell you like you don't have any choice, because you always have a choice, and sometimes it's a difficult one, but it's fine. If you like this video, please like, comment, and share with a friend who thinks might be needing this, and I'll see you in the next video.